no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise through the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow.
The population for Malay this population of farmers, the farmers in this.
We honor their fight.
The farmers in this way.
Justice we
they don't remember road where they fear army for go bush. After this year, the local, the Malay population this way don't remember road where they fear army for go bush. For very bad thing.
Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. We are building.
Wait, I mean, two for people them.
For the children,
the new population.
No
we don't remember roads.
No more sorrow.
Yes.
Anyone.
People don't remember roads. They need one go bush where they fear army. When they look at, when they see the distance.
Ambazonia's bright future starts today. No day, no day. Rise to the day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. Shake off the fear and cast out the doubt. Spirits ring out. There's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem, justice our creed. Shake, shake, no day. With love we will lead. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. Shake, shake, no day. The future is bright. Ambazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake, no day, until the very end. A cruise boys sing.
Welcome to ACN.
Probably. I just want to get the audio straightened out. Because if not, I would have some challenges. Okay. Fellow Ambazonians, good morning, good afternoon, good evening across the globe, wherever you are. I keep on having the honor and privilege to be with my senior comrade in the revolution. I call him senior for obvious reasons. And the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council, the leading organization in the quest for Ambazonian liberation and Ambazonian sovereignty. The one and only spokesperson who has consistently remained consistent. And let me put it this way, in a big, beautiful way, he has consistently remained consistent in the quest for Ambazonian liberation. I want to first of all go on air, though it was supposed to be a private discourse, but I want to first of all openly apologize to my comrade because I was supposed to have been having this live about an hour ago due to other family commitments and other things, but he was patient enough, and he has to move his programs 1 hour. He's lost a lot of things, but he stayed on because of our people. I really want to thank you first of all and apologize openly, my comrade, for having kept you waiting. But again, it is the revolution. And before I hand over the floor and maybe give you the space to greet our people, I just want to let our people understand something. The president of the AGOVC made a statement when he appeared on Washington, D.C. at the initial phase of this revolution to speak to our people. He said something. Our freedom is in our hands. Nobody is going to give it to us. We have to make that determination to fight for our freedom. My fellow comrade, still before you make a statement, I want to say this to Ambazonian people, wherever you are. Remember the 22nd of September 2017, when Ambazonians came out, north, south, east, west, the entire territory. We came out for one thing: total and unconditional independence of our land. Our independence and sovereignty is non-negotiable. Now, my fellow comrade, even before you even greet me, I want to first of all welcome you to this show and immensely thank you for being patient with me. There is something that I want to throw out there just in the open. You realize that Ambazonia, that's how I see it. If you look at what is happening in Ambazonia, and you look at what is actually happening in Liberate Cameroun, can I be right? And you look at what the geopolitics, the dynamics happening across Africa. Am I right to say that the liberation of Ambazonia is actually what is going to ignite the genuine freedom and sovereignty of La République du Cameroon? Making that statement, yeah, it's a bold statement. Do you agree with me, or do you think they are parallel? There's no convergence in this, in saying that.
First of all, thank you very much for creating the space, the time, and making yourself available for us to have this conversation. It's always a great privilege to have this interaction, to educate our people, to interact with our people, to have these exchanges and share views. By doing so, we elevate not only our people, we elevate ourselves. Secondly, the fact that you had so much going on in your life, work, family, with a lot of other things you're doing, and still making time for these conversations, even when it's late. It's something we all appreciate you for. There's so many ways that change can come. There's so many ways a country can change. human beings can only take repression and suppression. They can only accept underdevelopment, dictatorship, suppression of opinion, suppression of conscience, suppression of thought, suppression of beliefs, suppression of expression. People can only take it for so long. The nature of a human being is freedom. And so when those in power, regardless of how they came into power, when they desire to use repressive and suppressive means for population control in order for them to remain in power, they can only do it for so long, as we've seen it across time and space.
Yeah.
And so in the context of Ambazonia and Cameroon, the Ambazonian resistance has reawakened something within the Cameroonese. The monkey syndrome. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Human beings across the globe, they always aspire to the next spiral in terms of social evolution. We are always aspiring to the next spiral of our development. So it's a natural instinct of all creatures to improve, to be better, and to have better conditions. The Ambazonian liberation struggle, if you look at what's happening in La République,
Yeah.
the people of La République, they owe their new awareness to what's happening in Ambazonia.
Yeah.
The way we have responded to the autocrat, the way we have responded to the zombies in Vomeka, the way we have responded to these warmongers and bloodsuckers, the way Ambazonian has responded to Cameroon brutality and their crimes on our people, it's not something Cameroon was prepared for.
Yeah.
The Bias regime was not prepared for. The military was not prepared for. The occupation administrators were not prepared for.
And their masters.
They were not prepared for how Ambazonia was going to respond. They were not prepared in terms of, they were also not prepared on how long we're going to respond, we're going to resist. The period, the level of, you've talked about consistency, how determined the Ambazonian people are, their resilience for this sustainable resistance, it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
That has awakened something within Cameroonese. Watch their talk shows. Listen to their activists.
Yeah.
They have started speaking the language of freedom. They have started speaking the language of change.
Yeah.
From their language, you can deduce, you can conclude through empirical evidence for anyone who studies linguistics.
Yeah.
A change in language is always a change in the psychology of those people.
Yeah.
So the first thing you will note whenever there is changes, whenever change is taking place, it's a change in language.
Yeah.
Because that's how you understand how the brain is thinking, how the mind is feeling, and what's happening within the nervous system of anyone, or in a social system, a culture. It's language. We have changed Cameroon. Cameroon will never be the same. They have seen how courageous we are, how brave we are, how determined we are, and how serious we are.
Yeah.
They have seen our level of maturity, how organized we are, how focused we are, the intensity of our intentions. They are saying this. That's why they have become very vocal. This has never happened in Cameroon.
Yeah.
So change is already taking place in Cameroon. Whether the Camerooners, whether Mr. Biya want to accept it or not, Cameroon will change. Not because the people are engineering the change. It's inspired by Ambazonians. They are learning. Monkey see, monkey do. It's the nature of human beings to always learn and model. It could be positive or negative. So what they have copied and picked up from the Ambazonian people is, if you want change, you have to go for it. No one will give you change until you give it to yourself. You must create it. The people must engineer that change. They can obviously put a lot of pressure on the system. So Cameroon is bound to change. But that change is being inspired by Ambazonia and from Ambazonia.
Yeah.
Cameroon is bound to change. Now, let me also say this.
Okay. Can hear you.
It's not only social change.
Yeah.
There's a change in mentality. There's a change in the attitude of the people. The Cameroonese people no longer tolerate. I mean, they still have a degree of tolerance, but it has reduced. They no longer tolerate the nonsense from Mr. Biya. Look at the young artists speaking out, young boys speaking out, young girls are speaking out. Most of Cameroonese are speaking out. Watch their TV programs. So they are speaking out. Now, let me also say this. This liberation struggle has radically transformed Ambazonia.
Yeah.
And has changed the way, the attitude of even Mr. Biya and the occupation governance system. When was the last time they paid so much attention to Ambazonia? When was the last time? Ambazonia never mattered.
Yeah.
Now, they are giving all the attention to Ambazonia.
Yeah.
Okay? It's what they talk about every day. It's what they are thinking about every day. It's what they are trying to do something about every day.
That's not enough.
When was the last time? They said they want to do some road construction. Never happened. Now they're in a rush to construct roads. Now they're in a rush to say, we want to give you this politically.
We're not interested. We are gone.
I'm just saying. No.
I'm totally with you, bro.
Look, when was the last time they told you they were going to restore the House of Chiefs? They quickly, I mean, it's not what it used to be. But they quickly, immediately went and restored the House of Chiefs. Why? This is all because of what you are doing. It's because of what the Ambazonian people are doing. All of these political promises and signs of political reforms is because of the uprising, the rebellion. It is because of the armed resistance. It is because of this political collective pressure we are mounting on the system that will push the system to a breaking point. Don't you think the people of La Republic are watching and looking like, damn, we can do something like that? We can also be courageous. We can also show bravery. Damn, we don't have to accept this. This is unacceptable. They're saying it. And they want it. Courage is contagious. Courage is contagious.
Can you hear me
Muted
now?
yourself?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. You muted yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Uh, Comrade, still on that point, like I said, Ambazonia will change Cameroon just because of our defiance. We dare the animal, we dare the enemy. We look at the bull's eyes. We are faced the bull. We picked it by the horn, and we are still there. We are dragging the bull down. Ambazonia is doing that. There are certain things that I always say is divine. You know that the moment we started our agitation for our sovereignty and our independence, it also coincided with what we see in the Sahel. That's when Mali was also agitating. That's when Mali was facing France, shoulder to shoulder, to claim their sovereignty. I always say that Ambazonia, there is something in us that people, I always say that in future, we have to study ourselves to say where we are coming from. We are not going anywhere. This is a one-way train that we have taken. And our spirit of defiance, as you clearly lay it out, I want to ask you something, comrade. The country, like the Republic of Cameroon, is dilapidating. It is imploding. Look at their roads, the hygienic nature of their cities. Everything is in the air. It's been sustained by debts for the past years by their colonial handlers. Now, you see what is going on across Africa. You see the Traore effect. What, in your own humble opinion, I'll follow this question with another more intriguing question. Why do you think La République du Cameroun cannot follow suit? What's still holding them down? What makes you think that? Why are they so docile? Can you go into their psyche to find out what is really happening to them?
We don't have to be magicians or prophets.
Okay.
To understand how human being, what influences human being, or what trigger change in societies. Why was Ambazonia docile for almost 6 decades? I'm throwing the same question back to you.
I believe it was not yet time.
No. I'm throwing the question back to you.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. My own personal
It's the same question. Why was Ambazonia docile for almost 6 decades? Why did the Ambazonian people allow themselves to be occupied by a less intelligent, by a primitive, less educated, less sophisticated set of people? Why? That would give you the answer to your question. And what triggered the change?
Being pushed for too long.
What triggered the change? And why is the change sustained? That will answer your question. You see, in every society, most human beings are afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of taking risk. They're afraid of their lives. If you look at survival society, most Africans live in survival society. These are very basic societies that are still at the survival stage of life. Okay? Where their tradition their custom and way of life. It's what keeps the people going. So it's a psychology driven by fear. Okay. So if you look at what has happened in Ambazonia, 1961 right up to 2016, we had the most educated population in Africa at the time. Most Ambazonians were highly sophisticated and educated. So why did they accept such nonsense from La République du Cameroun? Why? And so this brings us to something a friend and sent, that they don't understand why the intellectuals or the educated Ambazonians are not at the forefront. And I said to him, I asked him to define education.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I asked him to define what is the definition of education, and what are the qualities of an educated person.
Yeah.
So just because someone went to school, does that mean they're educated? Schooling is not education.
Yeah.
There's a difference between schooling and education.
Yeah.
There are so many ways people can be educated.
Yeah.
So the assumption that because someone has a degree, it means they're educated, it's just, it doesn't correspond to reality.
Yeah.
So the challenge we face in the past, it's because of lack of leadership. Why should Ambazonia rise? People cannot rise without a leader. It's a charismatic leader that catalyzes a population through an ideology, a vision, and their compelling nature. That creates an inspiration and a following. We never had that. Goji tried. He tried. Based on what?
With a pen.
He tried.
Yeah. He tried with a pen, and
right?
Yeah.
Watch 2016. You had a couple of Ambazonians that were very compelling and uncompromising. You heard what Tasang said. Who called for the colonial school boycott? On a Sunday evening, when Yaoundé was making noise, that they still had control, Tasang told them, tomorrow morning, we will know
who controls
if the people are in control or Yaoundé is in control.
Yeah.
Meaning if there will be a lockdown. That's leadership.
Yeah.
That's what mobilizes the people to follow a cause. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba showed up. Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga showed up. You have Ayok Tabe showed up. Now, when you have such charismatic and compelling leaders, they bring light where there was darkness. They open the lead. The people's courage was suppressed. Bravery suppressed. Tenacity suppressed. Imagination suppressed. Desire suppressed. In one split second, everything is open. Now you have this expression of a collective desire. And then you have this channeling of energy towards a specific direction. You mentioned September 22nd in your opening. that was a symbolism of a people ready for change. It's a collective spirit of a people that demonstrated a singular desire and they expressed it with such clarity and purpose and intention that intensity of expression of desire is still lingering till today.
That was I call it our referendum.
So when you say why are the people of Cameroon docile, the Traoré effect, Burkina Faso was like La République until Sankara came up. Within a few years, they assassinated him because he was going to transform the society. It's taken them almost 30 years for Traoré to come up. So how come after they've tasted freedom and progress and what development can be and the importance of having a charismatic leader, how come they forget about all of it and went back to the old ways after the assassination of Sankara? I mean, okay. So we have to be very careful.
So
without a charismatic leader, I don't care how much desire people have.
Yeah.
They must be catalyzed by a charismatic leader.
Right.
Because all people are looking for a role model to follow, to lead. Follow the leader, leader, follow the leader, follow the leader, follow Mawinoro, right?
Yeah.
So what has been missing in La République is the same thing that was missing in Ambazonia until Dr. Cho showed up, Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga showed up, Siseko Ayoktabe showed up, you got Tasang showed up. Okay. They tilted and reawakened this energy that has been dormant in the people. There is a dormant energy that is waiting in La République du Cameroun to be unleashed by a charismatic leader. I just had a conversation with a comrade in somewhere in the Persian Gulf about an hour while we're waiting for the studio to waiting for things to set up, and then we can come live. I was having the same conversation with a certain comrade. He was asking me if it's possible we can ever see change in La République du Cameroun. I said it will be possible if there is a charismatic leader that showed up. Without a charismatic leader, I'm sorry, there will be no change in Cameroon. Okay, Ambazonia can inspire Camerooners. We can encourage them. They can learn from us. Monkey see, monkey do, right?
Yeah.
They're showing some signs, but in all these signs of bravery and courage, there's no charismatic leader to catalyze these people and lead the way for change. Kamto doesn't have it.
Nope, he doesn't.
Okay? Osi doesn't have it.
Nope.
Kawala doesn't have it. Libil doesn't have it. The other Muna, the 72-year-old who's almost like Bia, called Muna. Okay? Doesn't have it. So there's no charismatic leader in La République du Cameroun. But I'm not saying there's no charismatic leader within the political class in La République du Cameroun.
Yeah.
The charismatic leader is somewhere in the neighborhoods of Douala. It's somewhere in the neighborhoods of Bafoussam. It's somewhere in the neighborhoods of Ngaoundéré, Maroua, Betwa, Nkongsamba. It's somewhere in the quarters. It's somewhere. The charismatic leader is somewhere waiting for the right moment. Okay?
Yeah.
All charismatic leaders are guided by their spirits. They are guided by their own intuition. They always follow the right moment at the right time. So there is a charismatic leader in La République du Cameroun as we speak. When the moment is right, when the time is right, the charismatic leader is paying close attention to the indicators of the social readiness of political change. Same thing happened to Ambazonia.
Yeah, on that point, what you really, you've thrown clarity. I think the Republic of Cameroon, we can cut them a little bit of slack that the likes of Umniobe, Patrice Wanji, NS Wanji, that was those who showed some semblance of trying to take the sovereignty of that country, that they chased them to the gates of hell.
They were all charismatic leaders that loved their country so much.
Yeah.
That their goal was to serve their country and to make sure they have true independence that has substance and meaning.
Yeah, sovereignty.
Again, the playbook of the colonial masters, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They used puppets, they captured and assassinated them.
Yeah, can we rightfully say that the population was not educated enough? They were not educated enough then to get the memo that their leaders were bringing out. Because if they were, I believe that they would have stood by their leaders. Or can we put it in the light that the colonial masters were so violent?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just trying to diagnose.
The population is not the leader. In a counter-insurgency manual, which I want every Ambazonian political leader should study, written by General Stanley McChrystal, who conceptualized and created the strategy of the counter-insurgency psychology. We should understand what it's all about.
No, I get you.
So once you take out a charismatic leader, most often liberation struggles dies. I'm just saying, except the charismatic leader has had enough time to train and develop leaders for continuity. Don't blame the population.
No, I'm not blaming the population, but I'm saying that in their era, most definitely the population wasn't educated enough.
They were educated enough for the time in which those events took place.
So why did they rat them out?
Just like Ambazonians are educated. Look, don't make me say certain things which are not necessary. But let me say them.
Say it, put it out.
Let me say them for clarity purposes.
Yeah.
Without Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, this whole thing would have ended.
Yeah.
Okay, you agree?
I agree.
Okay, so if you agree for Ambazonia, then you should also agree on what happened to La République. That when they killed the Omniobe and the rest, their liberation will collapse. We should understand how these things work.
Well, I'm just saying that my own judgment is that at that space and time, maybe they were not educated enough.
Ambazonians, would you say that Ambazonians are not educated enough?
No, at this space and time, and with the level of awareness.
Let me say this to you.
Mm-hmm.
The Ambazonian liberation struggle can come to an end without, let me say this, and we should be very careful.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Ambazonian liberation struggle can come to an end.
Well, it will slow down.
Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Ambazonian struggle can come to an end.
Why? Why do you say that?
the continuity of a charismatic ideology. There are two things that makes every liberation struggle possible. A charismatic leader who brings a charismatic vision for the people. He's the vision bearer. People wants to follow a leader. The people are not the leadership. It is the same thing in corporations, the same thing in a society, the same thing in any organization.
So why with their leaders now, most of the core leaders, how is the revolution still turbocharging and moving ahead?
Because Dr. Cho built an institution and handed over the manual of ideology, leadership, and execution. He was prepared. Not everyone is like Cho Lucas Ayaba. Look at what happened to Sisekwa Yoktabe Julius. It's a primary example. It's a primary example. He picked up what happened to the IG. Let's assume that was Omniobe. That once he was picked up or once he was killed, what do you think would have happened to the organization? So that's a perfect example. The difference, Cho, same thing would have happened to Akwanga. Let's say Akwanga was the sole charismatic leader of the liberation struggle. He didn't build an institution. He has no deputy. There's no structure within him. What do you think would have happened if Dr. Akwanga is the sole liberation leader, was captured or imprisoned or became sick or was assassinated or was killed? What do you think would have happened to the liberation struggle?
So by inference, you are saying that they never created a structure, a robust structure to have continuity?
Did Dr. Akwanga create a robust structure?
No, I'm just saying we are trying to have a conversation.
Yes, I'm just asking. Did Dr. Akwanga create any robust structure for continuity? Is there any deputy that would have taken over from Dr. Akwanga?
Well, I don't see that.
Okay. No, do you know any?
No.
So this is why we're having this conversation. It's important for our collective understanding of how these things work. Let's study how events have occurred, and it will give us the humility so that we are not caught up in rhetorics.
No, I understand. I get what you're saying. So no, I'm just trying to find the parallels between their own, quest for sovereignty. What actually went wrong?
What went wrong is what could have gone wrong in Ambazonia. What went wrong, they had leaders that never prepared the next level of leadership, knowing that they will be assassinated, they could be imprisoned, they could be arrested, they could be jailed, they could be poisoned, they could get sick. You know what I mean? They never anticipated. Okay. If Traore, for somehow through, I'm not saying he's watching this, maybe you never know. I hope that he's preparing. I hope that he's grooming.
Of course.
I'm just saying. Okay, let's have this conversation. I hope that he's grooming. I hope that he's preparing. I hope that there's a manual, there's a doctrine, a laid down doctrine to be able to follow. The egg of sea, Ambazonia has not collapsed because there is a roadmap that the people now have. You can pick that roadmap, you can run with it. You don't need Dr. Cho anymore. Dr. Cho is an ideological leader who has transferred the blueprint of the liberation into the minds, the hearts of the Ambazonian people. So it's a unique situation. He's a very unique leader. I'm not saying this because I'm a member of the egg of sea. I'm saying this as a social science student. I'm saying this as a master of human behavior in terms of studying leadership psychology and how leaders act, behave, do things, and why some succeed and why some fail. I'm not saying it because I wanted to make some leaders look good and some look bad. No, I want Ambazonians to understand and have this clarity so that we are not just out here shouting.
I get you.
So the Ayok, Sisiko Ayok Tabe, what he did for the Ambazonian people in a very short period of time, it was cataclysmic. Never built an effective institution for continuity. That's why Yerema is a non-entity, and the structures behind him, unfortunately, couldn't sustain who he is and what he did for the Amazonian people. But we can help him through our honesty in terms of the immense contribution he made to this liberation struggle. I don't want any Ambazonian to undermine his contribution.
Sure, for sure.
We can continuously project that level of contribution and impact in terms of its significance and how much it pushed the liberation struggle for the ideologues like Dr. Cho can take a roadmap to sustain and make sure that it didn't collapse, and build forces and build institutions to make sure things don't come to an end so sudden, and then the people go back for another 60 years. So all leaders fail, liberation struggle fail, they only succeed for two things. A charismatic leader, okay, with a charismatic ideology that embodies the aspirations, hope, dreams, and desires of the collective.
Yeah.
So that leader resonates with everybody. And that's why they gain such popular support, because the leader speaks to their pain. The leader speaks to their suffering, speaks to what they have been deprived of. But it's not only talking of what they don't want, he also talks of their desire, their hopes, their dreams, their future, their conditions of life. He understands the people to such such minute detail that he can be able to now focus on, like Traore right now. Traore is building tomatoes factory, road construction, clinics, where women
agriculture, building agriculture, the rest. Yeah.
What is at the core of people's existence, transforming the society. This is what charismatic leaders do.
So with Dr. Cho and his organization, they give hope. They show us. They give a vision of what our nation is supposed to look like. That's what they're trying to impress.
Number one, population follows a leader. The AGOFC, Dr. Cho, all right, is a charismatic leader like none other. During the time of Ayok Tabe, he was a charismatic leader. That's why he was able to mobilize the entire Ambazonia. Cho is a charismatic leader. The difference between Cho and anyone else, Cho built institutions so that no matter what happens to Cho, there is continuity.
Yeah.
Cho wrote a blueprint of what the liberation is, in terms of understanding the enemy, how to fight that enemy, and laid out a series of strategies of what the pillars of the liberation are based on. Cho started training Ivo Cho started replicating himself. Brought up Ivo. Brought up Efan. Brought up Grandpa of Bali. Okay. Brought up General No Pity. Even Chacha, who ended up working for being bought by the Sakos.
Yeah, I was training the ADF camps.
No, they are all children of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba.
Fiango.
All right. There is no top general, including the great General Aruke. There's no top commander in Ambazonia that was not trained by Dr. Cho.
Yeah.
Look at Shea Carvey. Look at Benedict Kwa. Look at Dr. Nyi. Look at SG Moa. Okay, look, just think about it. Mami Wally. Look at all the generals. Look at Ground Zero. What Cho has done is to build leaders. Cho can't do the work alone. Find leaders with like-mindedness. Groom them. That's what he's done.
Yeah.
Build institution, build the ADF, created a command and control structure so that no matter what happens, these forces have the blueprint and the roadmap. They don't need you anymore. They can do it. Any ADF commander on the ground can liberate Ambazonia following the roadmap.
Yeah.
They all have this. So La Republic can go up, La Republic can come down. It ends in Ambazonia. It ends in Ambazonia. Ambazonians will be free by Ambazonians.
Yeah. So, comrade, thanks very much for that, for pushing through that point. One question I want to ask you is this. When you look at the entire situation about Ambazonia, where we find ourselves in.
It's a very interesting situation, isn't it?
It is. I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a very interesting situation with a unique set of people.
Yeah.
Occupied from what? The Germans? And then you have the British. And then you have La Republique. And the people never gave up. And then you have this generation that is here. And they vowed to put an end to the nonsense called Cameroon occupation. Listen, I don't know how you go to bed. When I go to bed, I'm the most happiest person. I go to bed with excitement, with euphoria. I go to bed with gratitude. I know what the future looks like. Why? Because I've seen it.
So, comrade, now there's a couple of things that people. I was just
finish your question.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and not from Ambazonia.
I hope what I've said has not deframed your question.
No, it hasn't. I'm still on it. I'm still on it. They are asking me the question: why is, to your understanding, it's a two-pronged question. Why do you think the AU is so docile in our quest for liberation? And also, a follow-up question is, who do you think are the international players that are maintaining our oppression, and how are they doing it? Because we are a unique set of people.
Mr. Trump, the president of your country, told all of you, the people of America and the people of the world, that he will resolve the conflict in Ukraine before taking office. He said that for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons
They voted for him.
it's one of the core reasons he won the election.
Yeah, you're right.
The war in Ukraine. The war in Gaza wouldn't have started if I was the president. It's going to come to an end. Has it come to an end?
Well, no,
I'm just asking you.
it's not. It's escalating.
So is it because of Ukraine or is it because of Russia? But Mr. Trump promised the world. How come he finds it so difficult to bring that conflict to an end? He's the most powerful man on the face of the planet, ruling the most powerful state. Is the United Nations docile? Is the European Union docile? It's easy to start a war. It's very difficult to bring a war to an end because it now involves so many things that were never anticipated when they launched the war in the first place. The war in Ambazonia is beyond La République. The war in Ambazonia is beyond, it's more than Ambazonia. We're looking at it as people that are directly affected as the victims. But it's beyond us. We should understand that. The war in Ukraine is beyond what's happening in Ukraine. The war in Gaza is beyond what's happening in Gaza. There are so many players. Do you know the conflict between the United States? Pay attention closely. Do you know the conflict between the United States and the Houthis in Yemen is directly tied to Israel's atrocities in Gaza?
Yeah.
Do you know the conflict between Hezbollah in Lebanon and Israel is directly tied to the war in Gaza?
Yeah.
So now think about this. You can look at it and say the Arab states are very docile, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can also make that conclusion. The Arab states are very. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We can also make that. We can make this statement. Arab states are very docile. Is Mr. Trump docile? Has he been able to solve the problem in Gaza?
No.
It's much more complex than that.
So what's the complexity in it in our own case? Can you
It's the same. Mr. Biya started the war. The war is beyond Mr. Biya. It involves so many players and so many things. It's beyond Mr. Biya now. So we should not blame the AU. You heard from Mr. Mbeki, the former South African president.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Told you, Mr. Biya was very reluctant to even accept a proposal from the AU. The AU cannot force itself on any African country if the occupying power or the power in charge are not interested in. It's a mutual agreement. It's a give and take situation. Cameroon has to be willing to say we need help. The AU is there to offer help. Cameroon has to be willing to accept help. If Cameroon is reluctant, the AU will not. Cameroon is reluctant. The highest thing they can do is say, okay, we're going to apply sanctions.
So why can't they apply sanctions?
I'm just saying that we have.
No, I'm asking you. You make a point.
Let's have the conversation, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They can say we're going to apply sanctions. It's not at that stage yet, because Mr. Biya, okay, has been in power for so long, is a friend to everybody. Okay, they benefit from each other and they give each other political cover and they sign this thing called non-intervention.
So the element of, if they are putting in that light, when they talk of the responsibility to protect, so can they, are they supposed to be docile?
Remember, that is a concept that came out of the Rwanda genocide.
Yeah.
It was a Kofi Annan United Nations sponsored concept in terms of response. But there are mechanisms that must be triggered within this international system for those response mechanisms to be put in place. So just because something is happening to you, it's not only happening to us, it's happening to the people of Gaza. We have not faced 1/10. Look, La Republique is a brutal state. But if you look at what the people of Gaza have faced, the international system has not invoked those responsibilities. So sometimes we should not look at these systems as perfect systems that must, okay? We have a responsibility. The international system has not responded because of the political involvement, because of the politics that are involved in all of these things. If they have to go negotiate, they have to send people to La Republique du Cameroun. La Republique du Cameroun will say, look, listen, we've heard what you've said, we're doing something about it. Okay, we'll give you a little bit of time. They'll come back 6 months later, nothing has changed. Listen, we've listened to you, we've taken some steps. So don't manipulate the system.
How long?
How long has Netanyahu been manipulating your president?
Well, to that extent, I don't know if you know what you're saying. We're having a conversation. To that extent, I know you bring in the factor that there's a lot of things involved or tied to.
Because we want this, because we have been brainwashed to think that the international system, because of people are dying and stuff, they will just wake up and everybody just gonna. It's not. It doesn't work that way. That's why I'm asking all Ambazonians to study how these systems work. It's a very slow process. It's a very slow process. Even my own government here, all right, they were channeling a lot of taxpayers' money to Israel. Sending a lot of weapons to Israel. The new government has come in now and said no, because it's a political inconvenience for the conscience of Canadians. That's why they have to change course until it becomes a political inconvenience, morally unconscionable, where those in power can no longer be in power. They will lose power. They will not change course. What's happening in Ambazonia is not affecting any African politician yet. As what is happening in Gaza, it's affecting global politics. And politicians are losing power. Governments are collapsing. There's a BBC documentary that is right now put on hold. They sent a team of BBC journalists. They took all the research, did all the investigations, put this amazing documentary together about what Israel has done in Palestine. They don't want to put it out because it could even bring the end to the present UK government. The Kumba massacre, the massacre in Kumba, where Ambazonian children were killed and slaughtered in broad daylight. They concluded that documentary, that investigative report, more than a year ago. Have you heard about it? Have you heard about it? No, the reason I'm telling you these things is because sometimes we want quick fixes. Our quick fixes can implicate a whole lot of systems. The BBC documentary on Gaza can unravel a lot of things in the Western world. The Ambazonian documentary that showed how the Cameroon occupation forces and certain international proxies planned and committed that massacre. The Ngabu massacre, you know it. The United Nations sent out a team of investigators to Ngabu. They went, they concluded. Why do you think the United Nations has not even published that report that directly implicates
France.
the French intelligence services, Directeur Général de Sécurité Extérieure, that agency, they masterminded the Ngabu massacre with La République du Cameroun. The Ambazonia Governing Council has the whole file of that intelligence from the United Nations report. I understand how we feel.
It's not about feelings.
This is what diplomacy is all about.
Yeah.
The ability to maneuver this complexity of the international system. And that's what the Ambazonia Governing Council is good at.
You make it. I like what you are saying. I very much, because you bring clarity to our people to understand how much determination, how much energy, and how much time we need to put for what we dearly love, our independence. Because, as you rightfully said, to so many, particularly those that have tapped out, they thought it was so simplistic. There are some certain areas that are tapped in, and you have to draw in references and inferences to make our people see. It is, there are things I push your buttons because you loosen out certain things. You relate our situation to other parts of the world to let our people know that it is not as easy and simple as they think, but we have to do the work. We must maintain consistency and focus.
The work is being done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The work is being done. Let's give the Ambazonian people the credit, the sacrifices, the effort, and their tenacity for the stiff resistance they've been able to put up against Cameroon. Ambazonia has strategically defeated Cameroon. I can't say this enough.
It's true.
We are caught in the web of international diplomacy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Cameroon in Ambazonia is done.
Yeah.
Ambazonia cannot recognize itself. The international system has to recognize Ambazonia.
Yeah.
The international system has to negotiate the end to the conflict, just like they are working very hard to weave through the complexity of international diplomacy. As I've said to you, look at what the United States, look at the web of complexity in this Gaza and Israel conflict with Hamas. It involves the Houthi. It involves Hezbollah. It involves Iran. Look at what Mr. Trump is doing. He's gotten a deal with the Houthis and made certain promises.
Mm-hmm.
You are part of the axis of resistance against Israeli occupation of the Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
We understand. And you're taking a lot of pain and destruction on their behalf. We understand. Let's work something out and bring the tension down. We are working on a comprehensive negotiated settlement. So now the Houthis have said, okay, we'll give you time. They go to Hezbollah. Worked out a deal with Hezbollah and the Israelis on that axis. Lower the tension. We are working on a comprehensive plan. So they said, okay, let's start with the peace process. The 1 month peace process that went through the release of hostages. It's a step-by-step process. Ambazonia versus La République. Canada pre-talks. Swiss talks. It went nowhere. Canada pre-talks actually took place. Engagement. Sometimes it's Ambazonia that the terms of of the talks don't favor Ambazonians, Ambazonia will pull out of the talks. Sometimes the terms don't favor La Republique will pull out of the talks. This is what negotiations are. And then they have to look for ways to bring them back to the table. Look at what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. They are now in the third round of talks. Since the talks that started in 2023 in 2022, 1 month after the launch of the special military operation, there was the Istanbul talks, and then they had the agreement, and then the United States and UK said, listen, don't accept to these conditions. We are going to help you to defeat them. And they fell for it. Now they're paying the price. They've gone back to Istanbul after the Russians have conquered 24% of the Ukrainian territory and have taken over the 4 oblasts. And within the next 3 to 5 months, Russia is going to take another 3 oblasts. These are regions.
Yeah.
See the foolishness? Same with La Republique. La Republique is wasting time. The economy is all gone. Political disintegration. Okay? Financial meltdown. Social cohesion is all gone. The Nordics are protesting. You see the foolishness here?
Yeah.
So let's not think these things are just so easy. That's why diplomacy is important. That's why you need to have leaders and institutions that understand how these things work. That's why we have the lobby firm to make sure we induce leverage in the new administration and we apply leverage on the Europeans so that they cannot mess up with Ambazonia and secure ourselves a prestigious place in the heart of the international system so that they cannot cheat us, they cannot manipulate us, they cannot deceive us, and they cannot threaten us. And then apply as much pressure on the occupier that is disintegrating as much as possible through our international partners. And you see what's happening now. Cameroon is defeated strategically. We've dismantled the occupation governance system. The state has collapsed. Now they are living on borrowing. It's unsustainable. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many bees they recruit, it's unsustainable. Yeah. Okay? The United States, let me put this into context. The United States spent $4 trillion. It's a ridiculous amount of money. If we try to convert it into CFA, there will be no numbers for it.
In Afghanistan.
They spent $4 trillion in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
With forces from 53 other countries.
They could not beat them.
They all, 54 countries combined with the United States, they still withdrew out of Afghanistan. So what about a bankrupt, backward, primitive, Stone Age people like La Republique that cannot clean the garbage on their own streets? How are they able to sustain a war of attrition in Ambazonia with the people that are determined and fighting for survival? They cannot, my people. Don't let what you're processing in terms of using metrics that are inconsistent with empirical assessment to deceive you because Diongute visited Boya or because Kanto went to Manfe. Don't be deceived by that. That's not how you measure it. The state has no money. I'll be speaking tomorrow with facts about how private citizens, state employees in the occupied territory under the occupational governance have to contribute money from their own pocket in order to sponsor 20th May.
Wow.
Listen to this.
That's how bad it is.
I'm going to present with evidence of how occupation governance employees that are employed under the Cameroon occupation government in Ambazonia. Cameroon did not have money to sponsor 20th May. to celebrate what they call their own national day. All employees of the occupation state, I mean in the occupied territory, under the Cameroon government, each has to contribute money for those ceremonies you saw in Ambazonia to take place. Now, if we didn't have this information, Ambazonians are there singing that, oh, 20th May took place. Cameroon has no money. We're telling you guys this. It's over. Mr. Biya, through his reconstruction propaganda, wants to build a stadium in Kumba as part of the normalization process. And they call it reconstruction. Now, Kumba had never had a stadium. So a stadium was not destroyed because of the war. Now they want to build a stadium. Mr. Biya had gone and borrowed almost 120 billion. He put it on Twitter to reconstruct the stadium in Kumba. They have no money.
What's that going to serve us, actually?
No, because
we've gone past. I'm saying that what's it going to serve us? We've gone past that.
It's not serving us. It's serving Cameroon political propaganda to the Cameroonese people and to the international community. That's why the education that you and I provide, that's why anyone who's following me on Twitter, I'm constantly on them, throwing light on all these things. That's why I spend my time doing more analysis than just coming to read political speeches. To begin to pick these things, break them, chunk them down, and give our people the implications and the effects on La Republic. That's why I'm not caught up in a lot of all this, because we have to begin to look at things the way they are, how they work, and then how do you create a breakthrough. We're in a very good place as a people. No other group of persons, no other people have been able to achieve what we've achieved, to dismantle such a political system that has been entrenched in 64 years. And we've been able to do it in a relatively short period of time. Look at the level of control we have on the ground. Have you all watched the BBC documentary that came out 2 weeks ago?
I heard about that documentary, but I still have send it to me. I still have to go through that documentary, because
I'll send it to you.
No matter what, I always have to have a second layer of thoughts. Someone talk to me about it.
Look, even in that documentary,
they brought that to me.
Even in that documentary, they said the Cameroon government only has control in the big cities. Outside of the big cities, they have zero control.
I will have to analyze that video from BBC, because in the Defense Council today, it was brought up for us to do an analysis on that particular.
I hope that all of you
will take a look at it and see.
I hope that my wish for all of you is not to do subjective analysis.
No, it's not subjective. Yeah. We are looking at the implication and the intent. There's always a secondary. We had a long conversation about that in defense.
That's fine, but remember what intent is. Always look at what intent is, and look at what. Look, I'm not the war cancer.
We'll look at it from a defense perspective. I heard about that.
It's a documentary, by the way. I want to promote the documentary. I want all Ambazonians to watch this documentary. There are 3 things I want everybody to take away. 3 things. 3. Very simple. The Cameroon state declared war on the Ambazonian people through its use of excessive force. The Ambazonian people responded to protect themselves. Cameroon declared a war. Quietly stated there. It's not something anybody can dispute.
What's the third? We defend ourselves. The third is. So what's the third message on the BBC?
Cameroon is the occupying state. Mm-hmm. Ambazonians are resisting because Cameroon is occupying Ambazonia and occupying the Ambazonian people. It's repressive measures. Ambazonians have to react. In that documentary, it also pointed out the Cameroon military has committed atrocities, burned homes, and driven thousands of people from their communities. It depends on what analysis you all want to go do.
No, we'll do it. We'll do it. It's a task from defense. Anyway, that's a digression. Spokes, with this.
Let me also task you with this. About 4 years ago, I put together a group of persons that wanted to travel across the territory to document all the number of persons that have been killed and the specific villages that have been burned and how many homes per village that were burned. How useful would that information have been to the international community?
Very useful, yeah.
I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, so, I don't refuse that. My only problem is that my point is that we must own and control our narratives.
I'm just saying you don't own the BBC, do you?
I don't own them, but that's what I'm saying. That we must own and control our narratives.
I'm just saying you don't own the BBC, do you?
I don't. So that's why I have to say I have to make sure that we have to go. We have to use our voice as Ambazonians and speak for us.
If you look at the BBC report, at the end of that BBC report, there is everything about the ADF code of conduct. Everything is in there.
Yeah, I'll go through it. Let's not digress from.
Anyway, I'm just saying. So, I'm just saying. I'm a very balanced person.
No, I know you are balanced, but even in the midst of being balanced, they always say that
the Defense Council has the right to go criticize BBC. I'm not saying you guys should not do analysis and go criticize.
That's what I'm saying.
You have the right, as Ambazonians, you have the right to go say whatever you want to go say to BBC. Yeah. But also, when you do that as well, acknowledge the fact that through that documentary, how much education it has brought to the world in terms of this conflict.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to. I know. I don't want. Let's not digress from that. That's another topic for another. That's discussion for another day. Let's keep. I just wanted to just throw light there because it was a task from within the World Council for us to take a second look at it. Mr. Look, spokes. There's one last thing that I want to ask you.
I think we've gone way beyond our time.
No, that's why I'm asking.
We've gone way beyond our time, and I think if there's any last thing, let's leave that to the next conversation.
No, the last thing I want to ask you is this is critical. We can't come and talk about analysis, and we don't put the way forward for our people. You've brought a lot of points. You've analyzed a couple of things, a lot of things. So, what is the way for our people, knowing that this is a situation?
The vice president spoke yesterday.
No, well, this is our show. This is my show. I invited you, so I'm asking you that
I understand this is our show. This is your platform, and I'm a guest. And you want to ask me that same question? I would refer the Ambazonian people to watch the vice president's speech.
Okay.
The vice president laid out. Ambazonians are always looking for what is the way forward. What is the way forward? The way forward to where? The way forward to what?
Why are we having this analysis?
Why?
No, why are we having this analysis? We are having the analysis to bring our people's mind to a point where to have clarity and give them the spirit and the hope and what is anticipated and expected from them. That's why I believe the deep analysis that you do is to lay bare and naked what is currently going on in the revolution and how they intend to see it and what they intend to do. What are we going to be doing consistently?
I will encourage all Ambazonians. The vice president spoke at length yesterday, very detailedly. I will encourage all Ambazonians to listen to the vice president's speech. If we want to do an analysis on the vice president's speech or want to discuss the way forward, we would need time. Now we have about less than a minute. I cannot.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't have, I don't,
No,
I
it's
don't.
okay. To me, I will say this. To me, with all the analysis and the probing questions that I gave you, we are putting forward, I would tell Ambazonian people that it is not as easy as we think. But whatever lies ahead of us, we are going to get there. No matter what level of how little it is that you are doing, and you have that focus for the liberation of Ambazonian people, for us to be free with sovereignty, we have to keep fighting. The message we bring and the analysis that we bring to our people is to be clear about what is happening, because some of these things we ask are questions that they ask in the back of their minds. And when we analyze and lay bare forward that this is actually our situation and our predicament, we need to understand that nobody is going to free us, but every effort that we put in is going to be what is going to lead us to our freedom. Having that understanding and letting them understand that's actually our situation is to let them know that everything still depends on us. That's why the president always tells us our freedom depends on us. And we have to keep on fighting wherever we are till our liberation comes. So, you, as you rightfully said, your own point is, okay, let them watch the vice president's speech. Mine is that there is hope at the end of a tunnel, and it's only us who can free ourselves. We don't have to look for anybody outside to do what we have to do. Financially, we have to forces financially. We have to keep on encouraging each other. We have to keep on standing strong and tall. We have to keep on pushing till we meet the end. We shouldn't expect anybody from out to help us. Other liberation struggles have been on the same course that we are, and they were liberated. So that is my own promising what I can give my people, give our people. So, well, the spokes, I know I've taken a lot of your time. You were not prepared to be out for 1 hour later, and you have been here. I really appreciate your time, appreciate your effort, and I appreciate, the analysis I give to our people for clarity and to let us understand what we are supposed to be doing moving forward. If you have any last word for our people, you can throw it out there so that our people will probably digest it, and we keep on putting hope for our people as we move forward.
If you have not listened to the vice president, the deputy leader of the liberation speech, go to YouTube it's on my platform. Go to ACM Facebook page. It's on auto repeat on ACN, streaming to Ground Zero, multiple about 2 times a day. Listen to it. We have strategically defeated Cameroon. It's time for intense diplomacy. Diplomats across the globe, on a weekly basis, from Canada to Norway to the United States, from France, from London, are flying into Oslo on a weekly basis. Things are moving. It's diplomacy, and we are very good at it. What every Ambazonian needs to be doing now, if you haven't paid your liberation tax, pay your liberation tax. That's all that's asked of you. Observe Monday Ghost Town and leave the rest to the forces and to your leadership. We have brought Cameroon to its knees. Now we have to mobilize the international community to put an end to this. That's all it is. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks very much, Spokes. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your analysis. Thanks for the heated exchange of ideas and opinions.
This is what makes Ambazonia Ambazonia.
Yeah, the intention is for our people to look at it, because there's a lot of things that I learned from you when you unpack some of these things. When we talk, and there are things that you talk, you put it out, is clear even to me. There are questions I ask, I don't even have clarity. I don't have response to those things. I don't have clarity. But the way you bring it over, the way you pull things along, it lets our people understand that we are in a web. But we have to define how we break out of that web and how to get ourselves free. I really thank you very much, and thank you.
It takes incredible amount of intelligence, and those that do not understand how these things work, because of their impatience and because of their lack of mastery of how these complicated processes, how they work, and how you can, circumvent them, how you can weave around them, and how you can find a way through them and still achieve success. You have to learn how to swim with the sharks without being eaten alive. All right. So we're doing incredibly well. We're doing great. And so all is good and all is well for Ambazonia and its future. Bro, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. I'm delighted. And thank you for the honest conversation and the exchanges. It's a very beautiful thing when comrades can be able to debate themselves,
Yeah.
and be able to talk and freely and challenge each other. This is beautiful.
Well, actually, comrade, is upon this note, not to take up much of your time. I know it's almost midnight in Canada.
All man, a place there. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you very much, comrade. And fellow Ambazonians, it is upon this note that I want to call it off, or call it a day. Our freedom is in our hands. The president, just like the spoke said, the president has laid out the blueprint. He kept on screaming, your freedom is in your hands. We will pull out the colonizer block by block. We will fight it. He said it wasn't going to be an easy ride. It was going to be a long, hard struggle. We are cut out of the cloth of freeing Ambazonia. We have all it takes to free Ambazonia. We just want a coalition of the willing, the daring, the determined people. And we all have it in us. There is just no way out. All Ambazonians, we have to fight till Ambazonia is free. We are not going to do this passively. We have to be active and intentional in the quest for the liberation of Ambazonia. It wasn't going to be a bed of roses. That's why the president of the AGOVs kept on telling us it wasn't a walk in the park. It is soil and blood. He said it was going to be tough. It was going to be a long, hard struggle. But at the end, we will be victorious. We have other playbooks across the world. Look at Afghanistan. They are free. And a host of other countries. The Vietnamese. These are countries that fought the biggest military in their time. And they defeated the enemy. What particular tool was their driver? The determination, the will to be free, the will and the determination to be a free and a sovereign state. And yes, they are. We have all it takes to free Ambazonia. We can do it by ourselves. We have the people, the manpower to do the necessary work out. We have the people, the manpower to beat the enemy in our territories. We have people, the manpower to contribute. Community mobilization, targeted diplomacy, and self-defense. Those are the triad that we sit on. And that is going to be the driver to our independence. Keep fighting. Ambazonians, keep fighting. You are fighting a just cause. Ambazonia is yours. It's your own. Foreigners walk into our land, seized our lands, converted us beggars and slaves in our land. We rose up and said, enough is enough. We are beating them left and right till they leave our land. We have demonstrated to the Republic of Cameroon the oppressive nature, nation. We've demonstrated to the world that yes, we can. And we will be free at last. We just have to complete what is left to be done. Put in that extra strength, that extra effort, that extra might. And we will deliver a free and a sovereign state. Like we said, the total sovereignty and freedom of the Republic of Cameroon depends on Ambazonia. We are fighting a two-pronged battle to free ourselves and also help free them. And that's the blow. That's what's going to happen. Ambazonians, keep fighting till Ambazonia is free. We refuse to be slaves in our homeland, our land of birth, with milk and honey. We have no right to be scattered across the globe because we are rich. Keep fighting. Use your last breath, finance-wise, your voice, everything that you have, till our land is free. That is the mission for this generation. That is our task. That's why we are in this current generation. This moment, this time, it is no one else. We have to hand over a free Ambazonia to the next generation to come. We are not mortgaging this. We're not shortchanging this. It is facing us. This generation must deliver a free, sovereign Ambazonia to the future generation. That is your task. That is my task. We fight till Ambazonia is free. We won't want to be laughed at by our future generation. Our forefathers laid the blueprint. They gave us a semblance of what a nation is supposed to be. We're robbed out of that. We are fighting to seize what was ours, what is ours. And our future generation, they wait for a free, sovereign, and independent Ambazonia from us. We are the ones doing the hard work. This is where the rubber meets the road. And we have to tangle with it till Ambazonia is free. The freedom of Ambazonia depends on this generation. There is no short changing or mortgaging. Every inch and every step that we take is geared towards the freedom of Ambazonia. We will fight till our last breath for Ambazonia to be free. Stay focused. Stay steadfast. The pillars have already been built. Now we are building the house. Thanks very much, fellow Ambazonians. Stay blessed. Do not blink. Shake, shake, no day.
Block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, block by block. Our liberator, our Moses, the Moses of our time. Block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. Amba must be free. Amba must be free. The leader of the people, the leader of the of our generation, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. promise. Man wey sabi road. Man wey sabi road. Sometimes we dey ignore. Sometimes we dey frustrate. Sometimes we dey talk to
We are right in the palace. We have hoisted the flag up. As the flag is going up, means that we have accepted to build one Ambazonia. I'm a airport somewhere reporting from Baba Kitungo. Watch and see what is... You can see how the flag is flying up. We have hoisted the flag in Babaki. This is Baba Kitungo. We are right in the palace. We have hoisted the flag up. As the flag is going up, means that we have accepted to build one Ambazonia. I'm a airport somewhere reporting from Baba Kitungo. Watch and see what is happening in the palace. You see the population? We have about 10,000 people here hoisting the flag. This is our flag.
The population from
It
Malaya
shall remain here
this.
until the day that we have our independence. The day is not far from now. We know 1st October will be the same thing.
Girl, put an solo. The population from Malende this. Population of farmers, the farmers and this. The farmers and this way, they don't remember for road where they fear army for go bush. As na the Siam, na Lukam, na Malende population, this way they don't remember road where they fear army for go bush. For very bad thing the way army they do for people them. The look population, where they don't remember for roads. Yes. People don't remember for road. They need the one go bush where they fear army. When they look at, when they see the distance.
So yeah, and what did really happen now for Malende?
The population this way remember for road. Where they fear what way army they do for people them. Army they torture people. They will not sell for bush, beat people, shave all with women their head them. Catch people, take me to the slap them, self-10 slap, rob people them for mud, beat them with colass.
I said they take money for people.
Yes, 1,000 for settlement every day before you want to go bush. You carry Mbanga, you pay 1,000 for go carry Mbanga. You want come, they assess the Mbanga, say you will pay for each bag. Now oil, 1,000 for one jug oil, cassava they pay for army. I mean, don't make people need to get peace for Malende here.
So what you want me to do now?
We want to make them move them to that place where they're there. They say they can't protect we, but they instead put we that trouble for skin. They don't make we suffer. People they fear for Malende. They people they
I want that money. No, I cannot get. If you want to go money, me go outside and come out. Come with their land this. That boy, the boy, don't go be big people that mommy don't can them, shave their head them. Sis, all the boy they buy them. You go buy them, oh, thank you. Mama me. Yes, they go direct without a big cam.
And when my finish do my mommy any no day and enter line just to go.
No, go outside and do my hands are big. I know you for that.
Welcome to ACN.
I told you before, when the time comes, they will come to us. And I remind you I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so you don't forget. Because I know they are trying to take me down. But even if I'm not around, don't forget. You don't owe them child support. Don't forget the crimes they've committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle. They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they? Where them they?
We've come here to tell the United Nations that the land they mortgaged to Cameroon will be recaptured by the brilliant people of Ambazonia. Right, yes! That the complicity they had with the United Kingdom will be dampened. That your spirit, the indomitable spirit that has led you from your homes right here to this plaza, will not be extinguished by the banality of evil installed in our homeland. That the spirit that has awakened from the dusty street of Mutengene to the alleys of Bamenda will not be squashed by the brutality of Cameroon, the complicity of the United Nations, and the utter silence of the United Kingdom. For the blood of our people spilled for those who've gone before us. We stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood wasn't spilled in vain. That they didn't die in vain. That the mothers who scream for their daughters, the fathers who are on shore where their kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain. I have come here as a soldier of the revolution. I have come here to assure you that this is just the first step to internationalize our struggle, to make the international community understand our pain, the pain of the mothers, the yearning of the fathers, and the doubts plastered on the faces of our kids, that the land, the 43 square meter land that we own, will not be mortgaged, will not be taken by any other country. That we are ready, that we will fight block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, until the day, as the last speaker said, we will be able to install a government in Boya, a government for the Ambazonians, a government by the Ambazonians, that is going to speak for us, fight for us, make treaties for us. We are not going to allow an alien dominating power from Yaoundé to decide our future, decide the curriculum of our education, decide which language we speak in our courts. And if the lawyer said no, right from here in New York, we send a message to Yaoundé that we are ready for the gendarmes, the bees, and all the evil spirit that has been installed in our homeland. That we will give our life for a free Ambazonia. That if this country was built on the blood of people from distant places, we are ready as soldiers of the revolution to make sure that one day, just one day, we have a homeland to call our own, a place to dwell in peace, a place where we as a people can decide our destiny. You've just got started. It's a long journey. Liberation is not a walk in the park, and I want you to be ready. Do not believe soothsayers who say you are just going to have it on a platter of gold. It's going to be a hard struggle. But the footprints you leave here today will be followed by those after us. They will know we were here. They will know we fought for them. They will know we died for them. They will know we did our part. And so they will use the same rope mark to be able to inhabit a free country. If that's the only thing we can give our children, let's do it for Mother Ambazonia. I want to thank your leadership. I want to thank all those who made it possible for me to be here. Together as a people, we will fight together.
Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, I win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward, where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors displaying. Ambazonia's bright future starts today. Shake, shake, over. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We'll shake off the fear and cast out the doubt. Our spirits will rise, there's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem, justice our creed. Shake, shake, no day. With love we will lead. Shake, shake, but that no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward, where we belong. Shake, shake, no day. The future is bright. Ambazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake, no day, until the very end. A cruise boys sing. Under the moon, where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Hope breaks scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people and innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For the shock where they hollow. Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them train them but them no feedback. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go far, no care. He they go, he leave your children, they suffer. Them stories they untold. Oh my mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For they talk where they alone. Inside these shadows, small fire they grow. Freedom they call, where hopelessness been they show. For every heart, resistance they burn. Ambazonia go stand gidigba. You no go fear night. Oh, mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like the river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space with the empty. Them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonia, the scars they talk story of courage we know they shake. Even when wind they blow scatter. For morning light we go there. Your children go they sing. A freedom way go fly high like wings for sky. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. The Kayaba, no vex better go follow. Ambazonia now oh na na. Son, Una conspiracy we go win. I'll break boys do the work for the ground. Wanna flag there.
Nga kofa ga no yiri. Nana mo, bagane mo, mama te yiri mania, makawe yira we. Nana mo, bagane mo, mama te bina bo, makawe bina mambo we. Nana mo, bagane mo. Mama tihire mangya, makawe yirawe. Manamo, mabira nemo, pango, mama tibina binibo, makawe bina mamwe. Ah, Lord, you've come through for me. Manamo, maganimo, mama te yire mangya, makawe yirawe. Manamo, banga, maganimo, mama te bina binibo, makawe bina mamwe. Awuna makagona, magona nera wukwa. Yahweh gane one of a canoe, my brother, much on my ball. I wouldn't macagona, Margon, sour qua. Yahweh gane one of a canoe, my brother, much on my ball. A bong of think that I owe. My pen away. Abong a thing that I nothing away. Manamo, maganimo, mama te yira mangya, makawe yira away. Manamo, maganimo, mama te bina binibo. Makawa bina mamwe. Awuna makazanga, mapome nyanga sawa kwa. Yahweh gane wanu wafakana zanga, mabirichi muchamabo. Awuna makazanga, mapome nyanga dara wupi. Yahweh gane wanu wafakana zanga, mabirichi muchamabo. Awuna makazanga. Mazana would be Yahweh gane wana wafakana zinga mabirichi machamabo. Oh, bonga finka daigani Mwewu mabirichi machamane. Oh, bonga finka danumi Mwewu Babylon, much one woman. My virtue, my chamane. Woman, I want you a career. I was in a winning with a woman. My banana. But you can't stand in the bird on the chin. You can't stand in the bird on the chin. Come your cover stand in the bird on the chin. Manamo, Mawaranimo, Mamma Tir Mamma, Macawa year away. Manamo, Maganimo, Mamma Tabina Binabo. Maka would be a man a bong of thing that my pen away a bong of thing that my pen away.
Welcome to ACN.